Pro Football Weekly is on to the second semifinal matchup in our effort to determine the best offense in the NFL. It's the New England Patriots against the New Orleans Saints, but first, we have some results from the first semifinal matchup that might surprise you. The Detroit Lions took on the Green Bay Packers, and Lions fans have made their voices heard throughout the tournament. This matchup was no different. By the slimmest of margins, the Detroit Lions advanced to the championship. But who will they face? It's between the Patriots and the Saints. PFW publisher Hub Arkish and senior editor Eric at home go in the trenches to battle it out.
Well, Eric, we're back with our second semifinal in our attempt to find the best offense in the National Football League. Again, the top 8 were in the first round. We eliminated 4 teams. We've got another video where we've compared the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers in one semifinal match. Maybe a bit of a mismatch here, but boy, this one, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints. You're going to take the New England Patriots, and this one is just really too close to call.
I think it's going to be fascinating. You just stack it position by position, quarterback, Brady versus Breeze. How can you go wrong? I don't think either guy has too many faults on their plate. You know, the offensive line's very similar in a lot of respects. I'm going to go there and say the quarterback is a little bit better. Higher yards per average, fewer turnovers last year for Tom Brady than Drew Brees. Just the receivers, the pass catchers, they're a little bit different in sizes and shapes and speed and all that. But in terms of production, those guys are pretty equal. So I'm going to argue that the tight end position, which New England has basically revolutionized, the 2 tight end attack, that 1-2-2 formation, I'm going to say that position is stronger overall. And I might even argue that Rob Gronkowski is a better overall player with his blocking, with his red zone ability than Jimmy Graham was last year. Love him in the seam. Graham's terrific. But in terms of the overall package, he and Aaron Hernandez are better. And I think the wide receivers for New England are actually a deeper group than what the Saints have now that Robert Meacham has moved on.
Well, they may be deeper. They're just not as good. I think you've got some great talent on both sides. And you know what? I'm going to agree with you on Brady over Breeze, and it's such a tough call, but I'm going to go with Brady's 3 rings and Breeze's 1 ring. But let's not forget, we're splitting hairs here. It's a small difference. So as you look at the rest, I think as a group, give the Patriots depth at tight end, no question about that, but no way I'm going to give you Gronkowski over Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was the best and most productive tight end in the National Football League last year. I know not quite the touchdowns of Gronkowski, but you talk about the catches and the big plays, and he's only going to get better. He is still just finding himself. A lot more star power, a lot more production from those New Orleans wide receivers than you get from New England. They're good New England. You know, Wes Welker, one of the best, but you're talking about a guy who gets you 10 yards a catch. You look at what a Lance Moore, what a Marcus Colston, what a Devery Henderson give you. The big play is going to favor New Orleans there. And then when we get to the running game, that's the big difference here, which is that the Saints are much better. 6th in the NFL running the ball. The Patriots just 20th. And not only do they do it with Pierre Thomas, who both runs and catches, and you look at what Darren Sproles means in the passing game. Now, maybe Kevin Falk 5-6 years ago was that guy, but right now there's a big edge to me there for the Saints with Sproles.
There is an edge in the backfield, Hub, but I do think the Patriots are going to be stronger this year. Stephen Ridley could be that first and second down guy. I think Shane Vereen is going to surprise a lot of people and fill sort of a Kevin Falk-like role. You know, I think Joseph Adai will help them in pass protection. It's going to be a collective effort. Danny Woodhead will spring out with a 100-yard game every now and then. But what about the coaching and continuity aspect? You've got Breeze with this contract thing hanging over his head. Sean Payton being gone. Hey, I love Pete Carmichael. I think he did a great job last year, but I wonder what the residual effect is going to be from that.
And you know, you've gotten to the part of this argument that makes it so fascinating. And again, I'm going to tend to agree with you a little bit on one thing. I think when it comes to offensive coordinator versus offensive coordinator, I'm going to take Pete Carmichael because he had it all year last year. He called plays from week 3 or week 4 on. He had the #1 offense in the NFL. You've got McDaniel, who can be a bit prickly, doesn't always get along with everybody all that well, trying to come back and get it done. He is a very talented young man. But then you get to the head coaching side on offense, and people don't realize that it's Bill Belichick who drives that New England offense. It wasn't Bill O'Brien. It's not going to be Josh McDaniel. Sean Payton's gone. He's gone for the year. You mentioned who's the head coach the first 6 weeks. Even when Joe Vitt comes back, he was the assistant head coach defense. So clearly the loss of Payton is significant, and it'll be really interesting to see whether in the voters' minds that outweighs the fact that the Saints probably have a little better talent, a little more, I don't want to say better scheme because I love those matchup nightmares you get with the Patriots tight ends, but they were more productive in their scheme.
I think that's what it comes down to. How much of a coach on the field is Drew Brees? How much can Carmichael bring back? And are the Patriots just too well-oiled a machine, to have one of these coaching type break-ins? I don't think it's possible. The Saints, we'll see. We'll find out. I think that's what this argument comes down to.
All right, guys, we're going to tell you all how to vote in just a minute. We hope everybody does. I can't wait to see how people vote on this one because this matchup is definitely this close.
So which team will advance to the championship, the New Orleans Saints or the New England Patriots? That's for you to decide. You can cast your vote in the comment section on YouTube or send us your vote via Twitter or participate in the poll on Facebook or at ProFootballWeekly.com. Which team will rally like the Lions fans did? Keep tuning in to find out.